What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Opps SportsCast. We're live. May 13th, 64th episode, about to be in the books, fellas. We got almost the whole crew with us. We're missing Josh, but that's about it. He's taking a day off here. And hey, sports is still churning, brother. It's still churning. We got a lot to talk about in the world of NBA, lots to talk about in the world of the NFL. Some scandals going on with Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel. Dave and the crew are going to give you some thoughts about how the NFL should be handling that and reacting going forward. Lots in the NBA. I love it. As you guys know, I'm a big Knicks fan, and the Knicks have been playing out of their mind lately. And so, we're going to talk about all things NBA, the fallout between those series, the Sixers, the Thunder, the Lakers get bounced, and two other series are in a dogfight with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Pistons and the Cavaliers. We got some hockey coming your way. Dave's got a lot to talk about as the Sabres are stumbling a little bit in that world. And lots more baseball, like we always talk about, as always. But fellas, let me first start out by saying happy birthday to Big Zeke in the building,
Yeah,
making it another trip around the sun
yes, sir.
this past weekend. Give a big birthday shout out to Big Zeke. We couldn't do this without you, brother. We love you, man, and thank you for everything that you do.
No doubt. Happy
But
birthday, big dog.
For sure, for sure. Let's jump right in, shall we, fellas? We got Big Zeke in the building, and of course Dave in the cut with us as well.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump right in, shall we?
All right, man. Let's do it.
Let's start with the NBA, guys. Were you able to catch any of the NBA is blowing up as far as ratings?
Yeah,
There was a lot of talk. I think we even talked about it on this podcast how ratings were very much down. They had a couple adjustments in season to kind of combat that. When they came out with a NBA championship kind of mid-season, which some of us thought was cool, some of us thought kind of silly, but they were trying to do anything to boost their slag and ratings, and the ratings are going through the roof for these playoffs. It's a lot of exciting series. None more exciting, fellas, than my New York Knicks.
our New York Knicks.
Our New York Knicks. Yeah, we got to talk a little New York Knicks basketball. Something clicked. Like they went psycho in that Atlanta series. They went down 2-1. You got pundits on TV like Stephen A. Smith getting ready to fire everybody. Everybody must go. I'm not gonna lie, I was freaking out too. I'm there like, man, this crazy, man. To have a team like this and they get bounced by the lousy Atlanta Hawks, and then just to come back the way they did, blowout after blowout after blowout, and then it's the Sixers are backs against the wall, 3 games to nothing. They got to come out swinging, show a little pride. Blowout. Starters don't even play in the fourth quarter. That kind of blowout. Um, Guys, on the other side in the Western Conference, we saw the Thunder absolutely demolish 4 game sweep. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers right out of the building. Are we seeing a finals preview? Is this the potential finals matchup, or do you like other teams still within the field? Dave, since you're a Knicks fan, I'll throw it to you first, brother.
Yeah, man. This is the final that I have right here. It's the dream final for me. And the beauty of the whole playoff. I don't know how do I put it. The makeup of the entire playoff field right now, man. The landscape. It's a beautiful thing because there are so many young new faces. Now OKC isn't a new face. They won a thing last year, but they're young, man. Like you got the old guard going out, right? With LeBron, like, you know, Only the flat earthers want to see LeBron, who is their their goat, so to speak. They're the only people that want to see LeBron in the finals, and to remaining in the playoffs and in the finals. I'm done with LeBron, man. I want LeBron to retire. LeBron had his time. I'm sick and tired of hearing about him being the GOAT. It's all about the Knicks taking it all the way, going into the finals. They will definitely go to the finals against the Thunder. This is the preview that I wanted. This is the matchup that I wanted. Um, I think Wemby and the Spurs might have something to say about that, because Wemby is a dog, man, and these guys are too young. They're too young to know what they should be intimidated by, or what they should be afraid of in a landscape like the NBA playoffs. They're just out there balling, man, and they're doing their thing. So if the Knicks can keep the chemistry going and just do their jobs, do their individual jobs, nobody do too much, nobody try to be the hero. I think we'll be all set, man. I think we'll get in that final.
You know what's I think like crazy is just that um, the Knicks actually, when they swept them out of the building, to me, it's just crazy with the way that that happened and the performances that was put on by the likes of. Um, I mean, there was a quarter where you had Paul George where he scored a ton of points in the first quarter and then didn't score for the rest of the game. Everybody was saying before the series started that Tyrese Maxey was that guy, and that the Knicks had no answers on defense for him. And then the last two games of the series, we didn't have who many people were calling the MVP of the series up to that point, which was OG Anunoby. OG in the first two games, people were there like, bro, is this the MVP of the series? He gets hurt, doesn't even play the last two games. The Knicks don't miss a beat. They don't miss a beat. The bench comes out and completely balls out. Deuce McBride getting deuce cheers every time he shoots a 3-pointer. The man just lit it up in that final game. I don't know, scored 29 points, I think it was, off the bench, or well, when his number was called, because I think he was starting for OG. But it just incredible performances up and down the lineup. They're finally playing with cohesion and as a team. But hey, can you do me one favor? Can you take the little thing off of the screen so we can actually see Zeke? Zeke, let me ask you this, brother. Do you think we're going to see a Knicks
Sorry,
Thunder
man.
final, or do you have someone else that you really like?
Muted.
Well, Thunder Spurs can't be that. I mean, that could be a conference finals. That
Dang,
can't be
Josh,
a.
you unmute us, Dave. What happened?
Sorry, man.
Dang, Josh, we miss you, bro. Hurry back. Now look,
Yo, I'm about to kick this dude, man. This dude
listen.
do this to me every time Josh not here.
I'm just saying. Um,
I know
here's the
you
thing.
are.
Here's the thing. Everybody is picking the Thunder to cruise. They've had a nice easy run through the playoffs so far. The Spurs were 4-1 against the Thunder this year in the regular season. And the games weren't particularly close. So even if the Thunder do make it to the finals, it's not going to be as easy as I think a lot of people are saying it's going to be.
Mm.
This feels like um, those early '90s runs with everybody fighting out of the West to see who gets served up as a sacrificial lamb for the Chicago Bulls. Um, the Knicks might make it out of the East. They're not winning the finals. Um, it's either going to be OKC or San Antonio. I hate to burst your bubble. I
You
don't.
don't
I
think
really
the Knicks could beat either one of them?
no, no.
You do realize the Knicks had a better record against the Spurs this year And they
Yep.
beat them in the championship
Yep.
game to win the little Governor's Cup, or what do they call it in midseason? I
The
called it the Governor's Cup. This is a baseball
Governor's
term.
Cup, yo.
That's
Yo,
what
that's
the Yankees and
wild.
the Mets used to get when they
I
used to play each other.
I don't think that's gonna make
Um,
the finals.
okay, you don't think it matters who Spurs, the West Conference is taking it no matter who makes it on the
It's either
East.
gonna be the Spurs or the Thunder winning the finals.
Who do you like more?
I'd like to see the Spurs get there. Um, it wouldn't break my heart to see the Thunder get there, but
Okay.
I want to see Wemby take that next step and bring another championship to San Antonio. Kind of carry on that big man legacy of David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
You
I don't know, man, but
know
yeah,
what's interesting
I don't.
is they were asking your man Shea Gilgeous Alexander, right? They were asking him like, "Hey, you're getting a lot of flack for the way that you play basketball." Because a lot of people call him the free throw merchant because every single time down the court he's trying to draw a foul. And some people just say it's like it's not enjoyable basketball. And a lot of pundits saying they're like, hey, he may be the greatest in the game today, but he's not the greatest to watch. He's not the easiest player to watch. It's very choppy basketball because the game keeps getting broken up with his free throw attempts. Um, I mean, you think that would be a more interesting finals with Wemby in it or with the Thunder in it?
I mean, I think
Personally,
either
I want
one.
to see Wemby.
Would you say? I'm sorry about that, Z.
Personally, I'd want to see Wemby in it. I mean, I'm one of those that's kind of sick of watching the Thunder and their style. Even I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of basketball, but when I do watch them, it's like, yeah, I can I can do without it. Is he scores a lot of points, but a lot of those points coming from the free throw line. I watched the Spurs play a couple games this past week, and I enjoyed that a lot more than I enjoyed watching Oklahoma City.
Hmm. Okay. Well, obviously the teams that got swept, there's some really big names, some big franchises there. Philadelphia 76ers, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Sixers, it was kind of an embarrassing situation for the Sixers where the New York Knicks fans, because Embiid earlier in the season said, Sixer fans don't sell your tickets. We don't want, I think they pay at the Wells Fargo or something like that, right? We don't want the arena to sound like Madison Square Garden. Well, the arena sounded like Madison Square Garden. So much so afterwards, and too bad Josh ain't here, because both of these topics would be interesting for Josh because we're talking about his Spurs and we're talking about his beloved Philadelphia. If you know Josh, he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Um, Josh Hart says after the game, because they're like, man, I thought Philadelphia was a sports city. I guess they're not.
Wow, sort
How do
of.
you respond to something like that? I mean, is he wrong though? You let an opposing team. That's like if uh, the New York Mets fans took over Turner Field, right? Took over the Atlanta Braves Stadium, right? And just it sounded like City Field up in there. You know what I mean? That's what happened when you got a rival team take over your home court advantage. I mean, so if you're Philadelphia, how do you let that happen? How do you let that happen?
Man, Philadelphia is buns to me, man. I mean, if you just so who is supposed to be who's the leader there?
The leader in the clubhouse, probably Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid, right? This dude, man, for what his skill set is, he is so soft, bro. Like I've never seen such a more frail and fragile big man in my life. The dude is always on the floor. He's always whining. And in defense of Philadelphia fans, like how do you root for somebody like that? Like how do you root for somebody who's so charming soft? How do you root for a dude who says he would rather be doing a podcast than to be doing the job that he gets paid millions of dollars to do? How do you cheer? You know, we pick on Josh a lot with him being a Philadelphia fan. You know, a fan of Philadelphia sports more so the Eagles. But and I've had problems with how rough Philadelphia fans can be, and just their whole history of just being so abrasive. But I'm on their side, man. I'm on the side of the Philadelphia fans. They have nothing to cheer for when it comes to the 76ers. Nothing. Because there's no semblance of leadership on that team at all. None.
Yeah.
So whoever's talking about, whatever player is whining about the fan, oh, I thought you guys were athletes, man. I thought you guys were professional athletes. I thought you guys were people that the fans could count on to uphold your contract, right? And every time you show up to the building, and they hand you a paycheck or that paycheck hits your account, that there will be some accountability, that you would show some semblance of a professional athlete, the professional athlete that they pay you to be. So I don't even want to hear no nonsense from these millionaires running around in shorts and tank tops talking about fans. They got a lot of nerve to go at fans, man. Those same fans are spending money to come see y'all bum out.
Yeah, I like what Brady said. I was laughing. He said, "What makes Phillies fans who they are is how quickly they turn on their own team." That, my friends, is facts.
That's bananas.
That is a fact. But I mean, you know what? To give Philly fans a little bit of credit is
How
that
dare you?
I, if
Nah, I'm
if
not.
I if I was a fan, I would be very upset because we saw something unprecedented happen with the Philly fan after Allen Iverson left. They went through a series called The Process, which is represented by Mr. Joel Embiid, where they were basically tanking year after year, hoping to get draft picks to help them climb back up. And in the end, they had the top pick in the draft multiple seasons, and the best players taken in both of those drafts ended up going to the Boston Celtics when they got Jalen Brown, who we'll talk about later, and then they got Jason Tatum. So you went through all that losing, didn't get the best players in that draft, and now when you finally got a semblance of a team that's starting to get healthy with Joel Embiid coming back in the playoffs, they take out those same Celtics in the playoffs, but they're down and on their bench, and that was why Mike Brown was brought in, is because they everybody felt last season that the Knicks didn't play enough of a lineup. They played like a 6, 7 man rotation. The guys were burnt out at the end of the year. Mike Brown comes in, he plays a larger lineup, and the Knicks have incredible depth this year, and the Sixers can't keep up. But why can't the Sixers keep up? It's because Daryl Morey, their GM that just got fired, let Jared McCain go to the same Oklahoma City Thunder that just swept the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, say what you want about the guy because he's a little zesty and he paints his fingernails, but the dude is a baller. Dude is a baller. They let him out the door for a bag of beans, and they would be better if he was on their team. They would have definitely had a deeper lineup. And if you're a Philly fan, you're there like, man, are we really serious about winning? I mean, we're paying Paul George, the corpse of Paul George, all that money, and we're getting rid of a young star in the making. I mean, he's what is his second year in the league, and he looked like one of the best players from last year's draft to come out, and they let him go. So
Did you
I
say my
mean,
man
like,
was zesty?
oh, he's zesty, bro.
That's wild, man.
He
Zeke,
fits
do you
right in
agree?
there
Do you agree with
with
that sentiment,
OKC.
Zeke? Zeke, what's your take on that? The zestiness.
No comment. I'm trying not to be the one to get us in trouble tonight.
Uh,
Bro, they had I forget there was a video that was circulating about the Oklahoma City Thunder, how up top to bottom that they got a lot of zesty players on there, and they were showing like TikTok dances of SGA and Jalen Williams, and they were doing some kind of real zesty kind of moves.
Yo, did you see the video that the kid did on Instagram about how many players named Jalen there are in the NBA?
Bro, it was a lot.
It's hilarious, man. He did
That's a
a
lot.
he did a rhyme about it. It's pretty dope. I'll see. I have to find it. It's pretty cool. But he's right though. Everybody's named Jalen, man.
I'm
Anywho,
just shocked at how many times the word zesty was mentioned, and not one time did we mention your boy.
who cat?
Cat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the
Hey,
kitty
my man,
zesty.
let's talk about Cat. My man is balling.
My man is zesty.
He's zesty too. See, I ain't lying. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie up
my
here.
god!
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
nah,
god!
nah. He can get some of that heat too. You know what I mean? Because yeah,
Hit him.
the crime fits the perpetrator there. But bro, he's balling, bro. All the assists that he's dishing out, the way that they're utilizing him as kind of like a point center. Knicks look good, man. I think they got a shot to go all the way, but I don't want to get my hopes up too much because I'm a Knicks and Mets fan, man. I got my heart broken many times. I know that I can never get too happy because good things just don't happen to us. But maybe maybe one day, it
No,
just might for the orange and blue,
nah, not for the Knicks, not for the
orange and blue
Nets, not for the
skies.
All right.
Orange, not for the Broncos. Who else wear orange and blue? They're just doomed. Change your colors.
Mets,
The
Knicks,
Islanders.
Broncos,
Islanders
Islanders,
are
Islanders.
yep,
definitely doomed.
Yeah,
womp womp.
yeah, yeah. It
Whatever.
just doesn't work out well if you're orange and blue, does it?
Nah,
But that's about to change, hopefully.
yeah, it can.
Cito said Fruity Pebbles. Orange and blue? They got orange and blue and Fruity Pebbles. Yeah.
Blue.
So let's talk about the Western Conference a little bit, fellas.
All right.
Um, LeBron James gets swept,
Yay.
right? Luka
No,
Doncic is
the
not there.
Lakers got swept.
The Lakers got
I
swept.
want them to all catch it. Though let's just not put that on Bron.
Okay.
Nah. Because if it was the other way around, it would have been Bron swept the OKC Thunder.
Okay, I'll
So
give you that.
he
I'll
get
al-
all
Yeah,
this.
I'll allow
that's
it.
that is
I'll
absolute
allow
fact.
it.
See, and I would actually give Bron his flowers if my man took those Lakers and swept the Thunder. I'd be there like, bro, that's he. I probably wouldn't call him the goat, but I would be saying today he's doing goat things. But he got swept, unfortunately for him. Um, is is
So
is is this the end of LeBron as an impact uh, championship player? Because a lot of people are saying now that he should probably leave the Lakers, maybe try to join up with other older generational talents like a Steph Curry, um, maybe make his way back to Cleveland to try to join up with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Um,
We do not want to see the 2004 Lakers. That was 2004, right? With Shaq and Kobe and Gary Payton and Karl
Karl
Malone, and we
Malone.
don't want we don't want to see that again.
Nah, man.
yeah, that's a
Hang
really
it up,
good
LeBron.
point, Z.
Hang it up, bro.
That team was trash, man. It was
Yeah.
so bad.
I mean,
No
they
chemistry.
got to the finals.
Yeah, but they didn't have no chemistry. None.
True.
Yeah, they were bad for no reason. I could not get out of my head just how awful Karl Malone looked that entire run. When the dude looked darn near unstoppable with the Jazz, but that was John Stockton feeding him the ball over and over again, and on that Laker squad,
Yeah, that
um,
pick and roll was dangerous.
yeah, it just looked bad. Gary Payton as well, but I mean, what do you think for the Lakers? Do they just need to run it back with a healthy Doncic, right? A healthy Luca,
What
and you
is
think
that?
that? Yeah,
What's a
that's a good
healthy
point.
Luca?
Yeah, hey, that's a good point. Speaking of what's a healthy Luca, how about not to shift too much on the topic here, but how about the guy he was traded for now on the Washington Wizards? Washington Wizards get the first round, the first pick in the draft. Zeke, I know you follow a little bit more college than I do. What do you think about that presumptive big three of AJ? How do you say his last name?
The the
I don't know.
Bonza? What is
The
it?
Bon, the
Something like
Bonsa?
that.
The Bonza?
Okay,
Listen, I'm
yeah,
gonna be honest, man.
The Bonza.
Um, I follow more Duke than college basketball.
Oh, the
gotcha.
So
Cougar kid, huh?
Um, if people started talking about people other than Carlos Boozer's son, I'm like, who is this dude? And you said Boozer wrong, but apparently he was a big deal in college. So, um, listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm
Who
not
is
gonna
this
fake the fun
dude?
for nobody. It's like you said Boozer wrong, but yeah.
What about the guard from
Um,
Kansas? Good
If
dude.
people are
Peterson.
nervous about drafting
Peterson.
him just because of
Darren
his
Peters. I
character
think
and
it's
his
Darren
injury
Peters.
history.
I don't know, man. They
Yeah,
got the top three being Boozer, the guy who we can't say his last name, AJ,
AJ. Yeah,
yeah,
AJ.
and then Darren Peterson. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I think it goes a popularity contest. Well. So hold on a second. We're talking. The Wizards are getting that pick, right?
yeah, they'll
Wizards.
mess it up somehow.
They will, man. But I'm gonna tell you what they should do. They should take the big man, and they need to get rid of Anthony.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Davis.
And Mr.
But they
Glass.
probably owe him a boatload of money, though.
I
I don't
mean,
know
but
what his
did he even
contract
get
looks
a
like.
chance to play with the Wizards? Like, he didn't even get a
I
chance
think
to
he was
play.
there for like 5 minutes.
Did he play
Oh
an
wait, was
official
that?
game with the Wizards yet? Because they traded for him while he was injured, didn't they?
Oh, that's right. I was thinking about when he got traded to the Mavericks. He
I'm
was there.
trying to think if he even
They
played
were
an
all over the
official
board.
game or did he get injured like the first day?
That'd be so Anthony Davis.
It
I
is,
think he
man.
did. I
I
think he
think they
did
take.
get injured
I
that
think they
first game.
take Boozer, man. They got to take Boozer because I don't really know what their guard situation looks like over there because it's the
Well,
Wizards.
they got Trey Young.
Yeah, but I mean Trey Young. Zeke loves Trey Young, man.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He love him like a root canal.
It's facts.
But
Absolute
I
facts.
mean, and see, this is the problem that I think hurt the Sixers as well, is that they fell in love with the big names, and they had more talented players that they could have went after. And a lot of NBA GMs they do that. They fall in love with the names, and they're just not it anymore. Like a Paul George, no way you pay that guy that kind of money. Personally, I know he's still in the playoffs. There's a chance that I could be proven wrong, but I doubt it. James Harden.
Oh
You
my
don't
gosh.
to me, like that was a mistake. You don't go after James Harden if you're serious about competing for a championship. Um, I mean, the dude is just, I mean, he chokes in the playoffs just way too much. Like, I don't understand how you can give that man that kind of money after he quits after team
Bro, if
after
you're
team
serious
after
about having your
team.
plane land safely, you don't pick up James Harden. If you
Right.
want your laundry to show up clean in the locker room, you don't pick up James. There's so many different scenarios where you just don't pick up James Harden, bro.
Dang.
If you don't want your kid to get kidnapped and ransomed, you don't pick up James Harden. There's
That's
too
Right.
rough.
many different scenarios, bro.
Yeah. So,
Snap and
like, I
kill.
don't know, man. These GMs, they're falling for that. And now in Washington, maybe they're onto something here. You got Anthony Davis now. You got Trey Young. You got a rookie sensation, a number one draft pick. And they're saying that he's a franchise changing player. If he can be that kind of franchise altering player, let's say in the line of like Kevin Garnett, Anthony Edwards kind of mold, right, where he can be a difference maker. We
You
talking
lost me.
playoffs for
You
the
lost me
Wizards?
when you lost me when you said they might be on to something because they got Anthony Davis. Like you can't start that sentence off and then lead with Anthony Davis, man. You may be on something, not onto something.
Right, right. Well, on the IL, right? On the IL,
Or
basically.
you may be on some really good, you know,
Booger sugar.
there you go.
There you go. I got you. But if like we had to compete, IL team versus IL team, who do you think next year will have the best IL team? It's probably the Washington Wizards.
Anthony Davis,
That's
D'Angelo
right.
Russell,
Yeah, they're gonna be
Trey
killing us, man.
Young.
Yeah. Forget
That's
the
the
starting
IL
lineup and the bench.
HOF.
Let me take my IL squad against your IL squad. We'll take you out, bro. Washington
Throw
Literally.
it up
Wizards
the
all day.
wheelchair.
All right, I think we spent way too much time on the NBA, man.
Facts.
All right. Let's go ahead, throw up the next one.
All right, let's hit on this real quick, man. Let's go. let's go to MLB real quick, man. And I know you don't think there's a lot, but and there isn't. But let's just throw this out there real quick. Go ahead.
All right, we ain't talking baseball really anymore on this program. I'm sorry, guys. The Mets suck. There's really nothing to talk about. I'm so
Plenty to
sorry for
talk
all our
about.
baseball fans, but when the
Plenty
Mets
to
suck,
talk about.
we
Mets
don't
are
talk
trash.
baseball. So
We
sorry.
could spend all night on that.
The lockout is looming. Uh, the two
It looked like
sides
the
laid
Mets
out.
already participating in the like out. I saw a post the other
Facts.
day. It said the Mets are DFA'd. Not any particular player. The whole team DFA'd.
Bro, the Mets are already locked out. They decided to start early. They decided we ain't playing until we get this figured out. And so they just haven't played all year.
Just bring up the
Anyway,
Syracuse team from AAA.
we might as well.
Syracuse.
We brought
Oh,
up a rookie that may not be ready.
Mongodo limping around. Oh
You guys
boy.
brought
Yeah.
up Ewing, didn't you?
Yeah, we brought up our you know, he's actually been playing good.
He had a good
But I
night
mean
last night, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
had a night last night. Yeah.
Yeah, he did good. He did good. But
Yo,
it's easy to stand out when you're surrounded by bums. I mean,
it
the
is.
team.
Bums.
Oh, by the way, like, did you see that epic rant the San Francisco Giants? Was it like the podcaster or was he the radio voice of the Giants? Just unloaded on how terrible the Giants are, saddled with the contract of Rafael Devers, who is getting paid big bucks to play like a bum this year. They took the shortstop from the Milwaukee Brewers.
Willie
Uh,
Adames
yeah, Adames
paid him good money.
uh, paid him great money, and the guy is ranked as one of the worst defensive shortstops in all of baseball, and his hitting has been atrocious. And you got to feel bad for San Francisco Giants fans. But yeah, their team looks trash, but not as bad. Still not as bad as the New York Mets.
You know,
But
there's
let's get
one
on.
team. You know, there's one team in the league who's on pace to lose 100 games. I give you three guesses which team it is.
Ooh,
Is it starts with an M, ends with an S?
Yeah,
with
that narrows
trash
it
in the
down.
middle.
Yeah.
Dang.
Might as well. Yeah, and Braves are number one, Cito. They're doing phenomenal, man. But I mean, let's keep it real. They're in the worst division in all of baseball, and it's not really that close.
I don't
I
want to
don't think
hear
it's
it.
close at all.
We haven't played our division yet. We haven't played
Yeah,
our
this
division yet.
they're bro. The Phillies are trash, absolute
Okay,
basura.
we haven't
And
built
then you
our
got the Nationals, the Marlins,
record on
and the
trash.
crazy thing is there's still one team in the division worse than all of those worst teams that I said. The
The
New
amazing.
York Mets. The amazing. It's the worst team. Congratulations on making it all the way to the playoffs, only to lose to the LA Dodgers. This is probably the worst year to be
The
great.
same Dodgers that we just took 2 out of 3 from.
Good luck
Those
doing that in
Dodgers.
the playoffs. Good luck doing that in the playoffs.
Here you go. Here you
Ah,
go.
Well, the
yeah,
Yankees got a huge scare today because Max Fried left the game.
Yeah, he left the game.
Yeah,
Ah.
with elbow soreness, and
well, that's never good.
well, they caught up with him
Well,
after the game. Oh my gosh,
so here's the thing.
you just
I'm just
dropped
gonna
out,
ignore
Peasy.
that. That never happened.
All right.
Um, the thing with the Freed injury is I think he caught it. Like he pulled himself out of the game,
Yes.
and it was a situation where, like, I was listening because I didn't see the game, but I was listening to MLB radio on the way home, and they were saying how it would take him a lot longer just to get warmed up. Like the first couple batters of the inning, whatever, he's hitting like 89, 90, 91.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what he
about
said too.
20 pitches in, he was back up to like 95, 96.
Yeah.
So I think they caught it before it was something like incredibly damaging. He might do a stint on the end of the IL, but I don't think it's something as serious as what they're dealing with Scuba. Where I'd be surprised if he was going to miss like a significant amount of time.
He might miss 2 starts at the most. He
Yeah,
thinks it might be inflammation, so we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. And I mean, they're at a point right now where their pitching is pretty deep, and they're getting guys back. You got Garrett Cole; he's probably got one more rehab starting, and he'll be on a major league mound. So They could afford to have him miss a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to be anything major like months at a time. I
Yeah,
don't think.
and
I think
Rodon didn't
he's
look
probably
bad.
before that serious.
Rodon looked a little dusty, but he didn't look bad in his start. So
Yeah, and you still got Will Warren. You still got, let me say
Cam
this
Schlittler,
carefully, Schlittler.
yep.
Yeah, still got
Yeah,
him. So
easy there.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
I caught him the other thing the other night when I was talking to my wife about him, and
Oh boy,
she didn't even blink.
and she's like, oh, that must be his name.
I said it, and I was like, "Yo, that is not his name."
Right.
That was wild.
Well, Dave, I know that you wanted to touch on the lockout. What in particular do you want to kind of jump in on that with?
So I just really wanted to talk about the fact that both sides officially presented their cases. You know what I mean? They got the talks going, and it's more of a formality where they kind of come out and they start putting the feelers out, say, hey, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're looking for, so they could determine just how far apart they are, which is like a trip from here to, I don't know, to Thailand apart.
Yeah.
But I do know that the hotbed topics are going to be, we already know it's going to be a salary cap. Salary cap from the league side. I have no idea what the players want. I really don't, man. Because they literally they're like they have it made right now. MLB players have it made, man. No salary cap. You got guys who are just like total bums out here making $800 million a year. You know
A
what I'm saying?
year.
I, you know what I mean? For over the next 15 years,
I
and
got
the team wish they could get rid of him in 3 years, probably in two.
Right.
You got a guy out here has a 60 million AAV, taking blanket days, to getting at home, getting tucked in, and getting warm
He
milk
is
because
never gonna let this dude live that down.
because because he lost, because he
Count
had a couple of
ever
rough
strongest
games.
off in days.
I'm sorry, man. I just can I can't let that go, man. It's just wild to me that Kyle Tucker did that, bro. Whatever, man. Somebody was dumb enough to give him the money, and he was smart enough to take it. So
Facts.
my thing is, you know, the salary cap. That's going to be a huge thing. Small market teams not spending money. You're going to see a plethora of free agents, excuse me, or available players start to sign contracts by the end of the year because they want to get their stuff locked in because they have no idea what's going to go on. I know one thing that should be on the list is they need to be talking about these teams that own these clinics and own these facilities in places like the DR and Puerto Rico. They need to get their stuff together because like there's some shady stuff going on at those in some of those places, man, with drugging the athletes and just all kinds of nonsense, man. I want to see them start to take care of these guys that are, who have nothing else except baseball, man. I'm tired of seeing these guys getting taken advantage of. But the big thing for me though with the salary cap, I really think that I don't think we need a salary cap. And this is my opinion. And I'm just gonna put this out there and then we can move on. I don't think we need a salary cap. I think actually we need a floor. We just forget the ceiling, we need a floor. If you are getting money, all right, if you're profiting from the profit sharing via the luxury tax and you are getting shared revenue from other teams, there's no reason for a team to have a 50-60 million dollar payroll when they are getting hundreds of millions of dollars through revenue sharing. That's complete nonsense to me. And so I would like to see there be a floor more than a ceiling. Forget the cap. Let people spend if they want to spend. It's good for the game, man. Whatever. What's not good for the game is when you get these superstars like Paul Skeens, these young guys, man, that come in and like they're already looking forward to their next contract because they know that their team is not going to give them a respectable offer or spend any money to make the team better. They just want to get out, and that's not good. That's not good for the city that they're in. It's not good for the fans, and it's just not good for baseball. Period. So I'm voting for a floor. Force these teams to spend at least a certain percentage. I would say 150 million is the floor. That's
Well, I think the only problem that I see with that is that then you have teams that feel obligated to spend a certain amount of money, and then you have the inflationary problem where you got bums making a ridiculous amount of money because they have to give that money to them. What I think would be a good way to go about it to kind of incentivize these teams, but also not make unnecessary inflation of bum players is to make it where listen, you have revenue sharing, but if you don't use the money, then the teams get to keep their money, right? And so, in other words, like, bro, Pirates, you don't want to get a free agent, bro. You don't have to. You don't have to. But that money in that pool is not designated for your business. It's designated for salary for players. You don't want to bring talent in. You ain't got no reason, no excuse not to, because that money is sitting there for you to bring in talented players. You don't want
indeed.
to bring in talent. You don't have to bring in talent. But we're not going to like inflate the market by forcing these people to spend money on just, well, give me Luis Severino for $100 million. So like, bro, he's not worth 100 million. Yeah, I know, but we got to spend this money.
Right.
You
See,
know what I'm
I don't
saying?
think they would spend that money on Luis Severino. I think if you tell teams they got to spend a certain amount of money, then the Pirates spend the money on Paul Skeens and not the Yankees. Or you'll have a situation where you
Right.
got these young superstars. They spend so much time in these organizations. I'm pretty sure a lot of them want to stay, but they also want to get paid what they're worth. So you don't
Right.
have to worry about a Paul Skeens or a Connor Griffin or a JJ Weatherholt getting to the end of their rookie contract and wearing either a Yankees uniform or a Dodgers uniform. Because these teams are like, all right, we got to spend the money. We might as well spend it on this homegrown talent that spent the last 6, 7, 8 years or whatever in this organization. I mean, you see, they spend this money on Kevin McGonigal. He got this long contract. There are what's the chances of him staying in Detroit if they don't have to spend the money? You see what they try to do with uh, my man Scooble. They tried to lowball him like crazy because they don't want to spend the money, but they went on to spend it on Valdez. If you tell these teams, oh, this is what you have to do, you got to spend the money, they might be more inclined to keep their young stars, even at the end of these more team friendly 6, 7, 8 year deals. When they hit that free agent and they're looking at big 9 figure contracts, the teams might actually pay it to keep these stars and keep that connection with the fans.
And you know
Yeah, I
what's
think
crazy,
for the
bro?
most part, we're all agreeing here. It's not a situation where you either use it or you lose it, but you don't get to keep the money for the owners. You don't get to
Right.
improve your
Yeah, there
owner's
should be some kind of
box.
penalty for not spending.
No doubt. You know what's crazy about it, man, is like they don't even have to break the bank to sign these guys, man. The McGonagall deal
Right.
wasn't like
Very
150
team
over eight
friendly.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was. It's not a lot of money at all.
it's like 18,
No.
19 million a year, man. You know what I'm
Lot
saying?
of lot of franchises are adopting the Atlanta Braves business model because
Yeah.
they're really
Because they get
smart
a
in
break
how they
from you.
retain their players throughout the years. They
Yeah.
get them while they're young. If you know you got a talented player that's going to be with your squad for a long time, sign them long term.
Yeah.
It's rare that those things come out and bite you if you make the right bet, right? Like the Atlanta Braves did. Like their entire team is like Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna, right? Ozzy Albies, right? All these players, the Atlanta Braves locked up for a long time, right? And rarely you have the situation like you did in Tampa with what's his name? You got the baseball card of him, Dave.
Franco.
Yeah, Wander Franco. Rarely you have a situation like that. For the most part, if you play your cards right, you're gonna get like this young talent, like a McGonagall, like a that ends up being future stars in our league.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
signing these guys young like that, man. They do to be 28. 29 years old, and he'll just be hitting his prime, and he can go out and get his max
Right.
deal. He gonna eat again. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
But that's why the young players are incentivized to take that deal. And
Yeah.
we're seeing them take it more and more commonplace now. Where getting young free agents like this offseason was really hard to do when you're looking at the market and I think that was the problem with why the Mets GM failed so bad because he always wanted to make the smart investment. Except when you're talking about free agency, there's really no smart investment. He's thinking long term. Well, I'm not going to pay an older pitcher that kind of money. Bro, those are the only players that are on the market. If they're really good, the team is locking them up, right? And
Right.
so I think that's where our GM kind of like lost it. He's trying to play like the numbers game. Is they're like, man, I'm not paying a 31-year-old first baseman or 32-year-old first baseman. He's already outside of his prime. That's a bad investment, bro. They're all bad investments in free agency. If the teams that have those talented players are doing the right thing when they're young and in their organization,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
But that's realistically that's the way it should be. Am I right? So that way you can have that competitive balance.
And I like what Memo B did with incentivizing getting these young kids up. Now, if you got a player who comes up and wins Rookie of the Year, you get draft pick compensation. So
Yes.
instead of, I remember one of the big ones was Chris Bryant, where there was no reason for him to be in AAA, but they left him down there just for that extra year of control on his
Yep.
contract.
That
Now
was
they're
great.
like, yo, we went from that to before these dudes even spend a week in the league, they're getting 8, 9 year deals. So I like where baseball is right now as far as incentivizing teams to get their young stars on the field.
Yeah, very, very good point, Z. Yeah, because we're seeing a lot of these younger players come up just for that reason. Maybe they win the rookie of the year, we get a draft pick, and maybe, we can replenish the farm system that way rather than just, yeah, like you said, hoarding them all the way until, after the All-Star break, which is, really a real travesty because they're not ready for the playoffs and you're stunting their growth,
No doubt.
especially if you're trying to expand. You're gonna need a good young stable of talented players coming up to continue to fill the void. Hey, that was a great topic. Surprisingly, I didn't think there was a lot to talk about there, but we always find something to talk about on baseball. Let's keep it moving, Dave. I know you wanted to talk about NHL, brother. Why don't you lead the way and lead the charge on that?
Well, let's do this first. Let's get into our meat topic, and we'll leave the NHL for last.
Oh, okay. I almost forgot about that. Yes, yes. Let's go ahead and throw that up.
All right, very good. So let me go back to the main screen here. Let me just put us on the big screen here. And so I want to talk about this topic of character across sports, man. I really want to get into this. You want to set it up for us, Chris, or you want me to?
For sure. A lot of you know what has happened in the world of sports. Mike Vrabel, coach of the New England Patriots, and Diana Rossini, NFL beat reporter, had an affair, right?
Allegedly.
But allegedly had an affair, right? Well, I mean, is it allegedly? They got him on photos and everything.
We still have to say it.
Okay, so allegedly had an affair, although there's multiple photos of them canoodling together throughout the
This
years.
chick named her baby Mike.
She named her baby Mike allegedly
She
after
named her.
her
She named
father
him after her brother or something,
or
man.
brother
Yeah,
or something. Yeah,
yeah,
but that's
that's what
weird. Who?
everybody does.
Yeah, that's weird, bro.
That's
But
crazy.
allegedly, right? And so yeah, so that's kind of where we are today. What we wanted to talk about was character across sports. And so it has opened discussions about whether or not personal affairs are the business of the public. And so I know there was a bunch of sub stats that you wanted to kind of get into regarding that. And so let's just start tackling some of these. First off, let's talk about the most obvious thing as it pertains to this. Guys, should the NFL step in? Dave, we'll start off with you, brother.
Um, I would say if the owner hasn't done anything yet, the NFL should at least start investigating this. And the reason that I say that is because the NFL has been so quick to investigate players for personal and private things that have happened in their lives, right? Why should it be any different for the coaches? And actually, it should be, they should have jumped on this day one for the coach. Why? Because the coach is the voice. He is the person that is paid to hire the staff that deals with the players, right? So all the coaches fall under the head coach, and the players fall under those coaches, then those coaches in turn fall under the head coach. There should be no scenario where a organization lets this type of thing go on for as long as it's gone on, weeks, without saying the NFL security is investigating this because there could be potentially some issues with possible tampering. There's definitely some possible character issues here going on here, because it could be conduct detrimental to the league, right? Now, the first thing that people are going to say is, that's his personal business. That's none of our business. I'm a fan. I tune in to hear the sports. I don't care about any of this stuff. Well, you don't care about it now because it doesn't affect you. It's not affecting you personally. It's not affecting your home. But what if Diana Rossini's husband was your brother? You know what I'm saying? What if he was your brother? What if he was your son? How would you feel then? Because then it's going to directly affect you. It's going to affect your household. It's going to affect your home. And I think people are becoming desensitized to this nonsense of this nonsense that's going on, not only with players but with coaches, with owners. We become desensitized to it, man, because it's allowed to go on, and it's becoming like the norm. It's the norm for the old 65, 70-year old college football coach to be riding around some young 20, 22, 23-year old girl on the back of his motorcycle, get in an accident, and oh, it's let's cover it up. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no reason for that type of stuff to be happening, especially if he's married and he has kids older than that young lady that he's riding on his motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? If college coaches are getting looked at for character issues, why is the Shield any different? Why is the NFL, which is the staple, why are they any different? And so for me, the NFL should have long stepped in, especially because Diana Rossini is a writer. She is a beat writer for the NFL. Mike Vrabel is a coach he's a former coach. I mean, a former player for the team that he is now coaching. He took his team to the Super Bowl last year. And my thought is, this is exactly why they're not stepping in, is because Mike Vrabel just took his team to the pinnacle, the biggest game, the game of all games, and they kind of want this thing to go away because it's just bad. It's just a bad look for them, and they're hoping that it can go away without them having to get involved. But they need to get involved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know that confidence gives you a long leash. And so he's been a very confident coach during his time, not only with Tennessee, but now with the New England Patriots in the 1 year that he's been there. But are you saying that you believe Vrabel should have been suspended?
I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have been suspended, but I think Mike Vrabel should have been taken away from. He shouldn't have been at the draft at all, man. He should have been removed from any football activities until they do an investigation on this thing and find out what's going on. And I say that, man, seriously, because Mike Vrabel is a head coach in the NFL, man. And this dude, there are all kind of receipts out there right now. There are so many. Every week there's something different, man. Every week is something different, and I get it, man. It's like it's stuff happening in his personal life, but again, this is conduct detrimental to the league because it makes the league look silly. It makes the team look silly, that especially them sitting back not even coming out and saying anything, man. They're just wishing that this thing would go away, and it's not gonna go away. And so they look silly. And I don't know what this love affair is with surrounding themselves with nonsense, man. It's like they love being around nonsense, you know. I know that Robert Kraft has done a lot for prison reform and all of that stuff, but it's weird that he likes to surround himself with such weird people, man. You know what I mean? The uh, the Travis Scotts and the Meek Mills and all of this stuff is like, and they're always in his booth and stuff, and it's just like, so you wonder, man. It's like some of the decisions that he's even made, Robert Kraft has made, man. It's like character. Yeah, he does a lot for charity and stuff like that, man. But it's like I guess when you become that status, when you're a billionaire status, you can do whatever you want, and people, you can kind of thumb your nose at people, man. But at what point, at what point do you worry about what the look is for your organization and your competency of hiring good character people?
Zeke, let me throw the question to you, brother. Do you first off, obviously, as a Christian, you shouldn't be having affairs. But do you think, as it pertains to the NFL, that that kind of behavior is something that should warrant either a suspension for either the players or for the coaches? Or is this something where it's they're like, man, it's their personal life that should be off limits?
Um, yeah, we all know I'm like the heathen of the group. I try to look at stuff
What the heck?
more from it's easy to say, yeah, I'm a Christian, y'all shouldn't be doing that. When I step back and look at it, it's like, all right, not everybody lives their life according to my moral compass as a Christian. So I try to look at it from a bigger point of view. No, this man should not be stepping out on his wife. No, that woman should not be stepping out on her husband. Um, should the league step in and do something about it? Did their conduct have any direct effect on the product on the field? Did their conduct have any effect on the game? Did Diana Rossini get some kind of inside scoops that nobody else got because she was uh, spending time with Mike Vrabel? I don't know. If they can prove that, then yeah, go ahead, issue some kind of punishment. Um, I couldn't care less what people do in their personal life. To be honest with you, my viewpoint has long since, if it doesn't affect me and mine, that's between you and yours. Um, my only thing is, I like Dave kind of mentioned, like, why isn't the league stepping in? If they're gonna step in, I don't know if it's a Patriots thing. Like, it seems like the league doesn't like to punish the Patriots. Um, you look at Robert Kraft. You want to talk about character issues and conduct detrimental. This is the same man who got caught on tape at the massage parlor. Um, the charges ended up being dropped, and it was dropped on some old loophole type stuff. The judge said, "Well, those recordings were attained illegally, so destroy them." I don't care how you got them. We
Right,
saw it. we
right.
know what the man was doing, and there was no punishment for that. So if they're not going to punish him for that, they're not going to touch Mike Vrabel for this. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's the shield protecting the Patriots for some reason. Like you said, Robert Kraft is very, very generous with his money. He does a lot of philanthropy, does a lot for the community. Blah blah blah. That shouldn't absolve him from punishment for his crimes. Neither should it uh, protect Mike Vrabel from any kind of punishment that another coach would be hit with for acts like this. I mean, we saw what happened with Sharon Moore in at Michigan. We saw what happened with Ime Udoka at Boston. Those organizations move quickly dealing with head coaches and inappropriate relationships.
Right.
Now, some people will say, well, they were dealing with players on their or people on their staff, or they were dealing with subordinates. It shouldn't matter. Um, an inappropriate relationship is an inappropriate relationship. So, if some are going to be punished for their inappropriate relationship, I think it should be that way across the board. But the NFL marches to the beat of their own drum. So, I don't know.
So just to be clear, Zeke,
Yep.
while I agree with you, there seems to be a difference in how punishment was doled out to the Ime Udoka and the Michigan University head coach as it pertains to Vrabel.
Mhm.
Is it your position that you think all people that commit affairs should be punished or none should?
My position is treat everybody fair. I honestly couldn't care less how they're handled. Like I said, if it's not having some kind of unfair advantage on the team, or if it's not affecting the on court or on field product in any way, or if, like I said, if Diana Rossini's getting these inside scoops that wins her all kinds of awards, and oh, she's the greatest reporter ever, and the whole time we find out she was doing something strange to get these scoops. All right, that's one thing. But if I mean, I hadn't heard Diana Rossini's name in a long time until I heard that she was having an affair with Mike Vrabel, so I don't know how much it helped her career. Um, Either punish them all or don't punish them. That's the way I look at it. I couldn't care less which way to go.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And then Dave, I don't know if you want to get into the other aspect of what you wanted to cover here, but you mentioned that you said that sports organizations seems to be enamored with morally void leaders. Um, is that something that you think is uh, endemic to all sports, more so NFL, um, NBA maybe? I don't know. In particular, what are you referencing, and what do you think is the reason behind that, if so?
Well, I think that I think it's kind of spread out, man. So with the NFL, with Roger Goodell, for some reason, Roger Goodell, he's very reluctant to go after his bosses, the owners, the people that that pay him. He's very reluctant to do anything to ruffle their feathers. He's very quick to go after the quote unquote subordinates, the people who the powerless. Even with the union, the players are powerless. When the shield comes down, it comes down. You know what I'm saying? And so when I look at when I say like morally void, I look at like I look at like the NBA, right? So everybody wanted to make a big deal about, when MJ was playing, it's like, well, MJ doesn't talk politics. Why is it with such power that he has, it's selfish of him to not come out and take and pick a side and let people know what his side is. He doesn't have to do that. That's his personal business, right? And his political alignment has nothing to do with what he does on the court. It has nothing to do with the image of the NBA. And I say that because he was the most popular player in his time, right? But there were other players that were mad vocal about their political stance, but it was just like, no, we don't care about you. We want to hear about Jordan. We want to hear from Jordan, right? Because they knew Jordan was that dude. They knew he was the face of the NBA, and they know anything that he said could cause a major landslide in for the reputation of the NBA, right? So when I say the NBA, I look at right now the NBA. They with Kobe not, once Kobe retired, they were trying hard to find a face of the league. Whether it was LeBron, they wanted it to be LeBron over Kobe, but it wasn't. It was Kobe. Then Kobe Kobe's gone. Kobe retired, and then it was LeBron's the face of the league, right? But LeBron, he's not the popular choice for the face of the league, and he's getting close to retirement. So now they need a new face. Well, you got a guy like Anthony Edwards. You see him in the Sprite commercials. You see him like you see him in NBA commercials, right? And I don't understand the love affair with wanting someone like Anthony Edwards to be the face of the league. If you've ever seen any videos of him in the hallway, like before they come out for games or after the games, he's cracking jokes with the players. He's dropping the N word left and right on camera, man, and it's just like with no care. He don't care who's around. And then you have this whole situation where he's fathered this child with this young lady who's an influencer or whatever. She's got another child with a rapper or something like that, and it's just like it's all in the news. They're talking about how, and I'm not gonna like make any assumptions. I'm just gonna go on the facts because there was a whole bunch of nonsense out there about, oh, he paid her all the child support up front, and which is a lie because the case is being heard in Georgia, and Georgia does not allow that. And if it was, there are very few support courts that would allow that because it's more about the money. It's more, people forget about the security that the child is going to need because of who his father is, or who her father is. It's a little girl. You forget about the swim lessons. You forget about insurance. You forget about the kid playing sports and stuff throughout their lives. That stuff takes money, and they're gonna make sure that the father is gonna pay his share of it, especially if he's a multimillionaire. So there's the nonsense about the money. Then his lawyer came out and said that he said that the court proceedings were strictly a a parental navigating the parental responsibilities landscape of the whole situation, meaning that Anthony Edwards wanted to establish paternity, but wants the case set up where he has no involvement in the child's life, right? He just wants to he wants the mother to he wants to acknowledge that I'm not going to be involved. I'm going to be nowhere around. So you're going to get child support for me and that's it. So in a league like the NBA, why would you want why would you want to try to put somebody like that as the face of your league? Why would you want to make somebody where you have your league is so influential, especially it's a family league too. Want to make it family fun, family friendly, family accessible. Why would you want somebody who is basically running away from the responsibility of fatherhood and just basically telling his child, I don't want to be a part of your life? Why would you what organization would want that type of person to represent their league?
Well, I would just say this when it comes to like NBA, and you think of like let's say Team USA, young talented players on Team USA. The only reason I say that is because if you're the NBA, you kind of want like at least one American star to be front and center. And what American star do we have that, at least on the court, is a better representation than Anthony Edwards, who comes out and plays every single day? That was one of the issues that we talked about on this podcast. That we had a lot of people that were doing rest days, or they call it maintenance days, right? Or basically just taking time off. And LeBron kind of started that trend that we were all griping about. Anthony Edwards doesn't take days. I mean, man gets injured, nearly like snaps his knee backwards, and he's back to play the next day. And so like as far as like on the court product, I don't think you get much better of a of an example than Anthony Edwards off the court. That's going to be tough in this generation, bro. With all of the Twitter, all of the cameras that are just everywhere that you just didn't have before. I can't imagine that Magic Johnson would have been that kind of role model and example back in the day if there was as many cameras readily available as there is now with the kind of things that we know that these players back in the 80s were doing. And so it's rough because you're going to have these really talented, rich, young athletes probably not be the best role models. There's a lot of people that, especially when you're young and rich, man, you're not making the best decisions. But as far as on court example, I got to give Anthony Edwards his flowers. The man shows up to play every day, and that's more than what we can say about 95% of the league. But Zeke, I'll let you be the deciding vote on that, brother.
Um, uh, I don't know. Again, I this is one of those situations where we tend to look at things through the lens of our moral compass, and it's like, how could you want this guy to be the face of the league, or why does this guy get so much props, or why does the world love this guy so much? We can't stand him because of what he stands for. Listen, at the end of the day, again, I am the what are you doing on the court type of guy. I don't face of the league. That's gonna play itself out organically. They can push for Anthony Edwards. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be Anthony Edwards because he's so rough around the edges.
Right.
He's just he'll reach a certain corner of fandom, but there's gonna be a lot more. I mean, Peasy, you just said what American star can we put as a face of the league? And as much as I hate to give any kind of props to a New York Knick, what about your boy Brunson? I
You know
haven't
what?
heard
Now
any.
conducted. That's a really good example.
I haven't heard anything about this man off the court, and I mean he's putting up numbers. He's proven that he can be a leader of a decent team. He goes out there and he produces. Why not him? Why not put the rocket on
Coached
his
by his
back
dad. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it don't have to be a Ja Morant or it, I think the problem is like a lot of people look at the NBA that we grew up with, where they were pushing like that rap culture, with like
Mm.
the Allen Iverson type, where he was when he wasn't on the court, he was wearing the baggy jeans and the big chains and the cornrows, and a lot of fans could relate to him because oh, he's just like us. He got the rap album on the side, blah blah blah. That's getting old and played out. I think John Morant's finding that out. He lost a lot of support after like the second, third time he got himself in trouble. It's like, dude, are you going to produce on the court or not? Like you said, Anthony Edwards gets a pass because he's still producing. But if Anthony Edwards has a couple down years, all that
Yep.
stuff is going to get old quick.
Yep.
Where you got a
Absolutely.
consistent player like Jalen Brunson he puts his head down, he goes out, he bowls, and he keeps his mouth shut off the court, and he's not getting himself in trouble. So it'll work itself out, man. It might be a situation where organically the league has to go to like a Brunson or I keep wanting to say SGA, but then I remember is he Canadian?
He's
Uh,
Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
but what does that matter though? Why does it have to be an
It
American?
matters. It matters, Dave. It
it,
matters in
it
the
matters.
American psyche.
Look, just
Like
just like you don't want Shohei to be the face of baseball. Why does
There
that
ain't
matter?
nothing I can, but there ain't nothing I can do about it. I can
Yeah, but you
complain
griped
about
for the
it.
first 50 episodes of our podcast
I
about
know
it.
that, but let me keeping it real though, man. Like I want to keep it real. Like sh- I say a lot of stuff about Shohei Ohtani, right? God
Uh-huh.
forbid, bro. And I'm just being dead serious here. God forbid this whole thing with Ipe and this gambling thing does not come back at in any way, shape, or form to Shohei, right? It will devastate the game that I love, the game that we all three of us love so much. Do we want that? As much as I
Would
mess
it
around
though?
and talk about Shohei Ohtani, there is no scenario that exists where I want Shohei Ohtani to be involved with gambling for the sake of the game, bro. Because so much has been put on his back to carry this game, and I'm good with it. Okay,
But
I'm good
here's
with
the
it.
thing with that though. I think baseball, especially with this past year's WBC, they've been like they've been doing a good job at getting others. Like there's other big names out there. You got your Aaron Judges, you got your Cal Rileys, you got your Kyle Schwarbers. Bryce Harper still gets a lot of love. You got Ronald Acuna. You got Michael Garcia. He was the MVP of the WBC, and before that, he was making his name in Kansas City as one of the next rising stars in the league. So if Shohei goes down, honestly, because of the Shohei fatigue,
Yeah,
I
the
think
game will
people
be
be like,
fine.
you know what? Bet. You
We're
you look
good.
at the Dodgers alone, forget the rest of the league. You look at the Dodgers alone. There's enough
Next,
big names on the Dodgers where it's
yeah,
like, all right, who's
next up,
next? You still got Mookie, you still got Freddie, you still got Blake Snell, you still got Will Smith,
right?
Teoscar Hernandez. You still got big names out there to where the people fell in love, like you fell in love with Ernie Clement last year.
Yeah,
I
my
mean,
guy, man.
outside of him being from Rochester, the boy balled out last year.
Yeah, man.
And you got Vlad Guerrero Jr. So I think I would hate to see it happen, but I don't think it would be as devastating if somehow Shohei got caught up in some kind of scandal. I don't think the league will suffer that much at all.
But there's
Well,
a domino effect with that whole thing because the Shohei Otani he's got the memorabilia game on lock right now, man. So many people's financial futures and present are tied up in the show. Everything Shohei, man. When it comes, so if Shohei went down, bro, the ramifications of that would just be devastating, man.
Yeah, but
It
that's
would.
like another corner of fandom. Like I know you're big into like the memorabilia. Not everybody's in it because not everybody can get back because it's not what it used to be. Like I would love to start collecting cards and everything, but the breakers have kind of ruined the whole love of collecting cards for me because it's like if I'm not spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to buy these special packs, what am I pulling from a box? I remember one time I pulled a Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade autograph card from a $20 box at Target. I'm not trying to get lucky like that no more because I'm looking at these dudes online and they're getting all of the big cards because all of the chase cards or whatever are in these specialty boxes. I can't
Yeah,
afford those boxes.
yeah. You
So
know,
I think
yeah.
we're getting. I get. Let me just try to bring us back a little bit because we kind of strayed a little bit. But I wanted to piggyback on what Zeke said because I thought he made a really good point. Probably a really good role model on and off the court would be Jalen Brunson. But even as a Knicks fan, I kind of acknowledge this. In order for Jalen Brunson to take that kind of leap to that status around the league and around basketball gyms everywhere, he needs to win a championship. He
But
needs to
why?
win a
What does Anthony
championship.
ever won? What does Ant Man want?
He has swag and charisma that Jalen Brunson does not. Jalen Brunson is talented. Maybe he could be on level with a lot of these players, but he doesn't have the kind of swag and charisma that a championship would elevate him, a
let
status
me
that
let
that
me
would that
let
that
me
would
say this.
emblazon on him.
That's the same swag and charisma that got John Moran involved with three different gun incidents, bro. That's the kind of swag that the NBA does not need, man. They
I
do
think we're
not need
confusing
hood
swag
swag.
with uneducated, rough around the edges, uncultured. Like it's just I love Ant's game, but when I listen to him talk, it's like,
Oh my
bruh,
gosh,
did
bro.
you pay attention in any of your
Any
classes?
classes, right? It's
Like,
amazing to me, bro. You know, it's like John Morant, man. At least Ja came from Ja comes from a good home. He's just trying to play
yeah, he
thug.
faking the funk.
Yeah, but
But what
Anthony
what does
Edwards, man,
John
it's like, what are we doing here?
Bro, but what does John Morant and Anthony Edwards do very well above everybody else in the league? Highlight dunks. You're not getting that from Jalen Brunson. So if you want to elevate him to that level, he's got to be recognized as one of the best players in the league, and that's going to be hard
Right.
to do with the likes of Wemby, with the likes of Jokic, with the likes of Giannis. Still, when he's healthy anyway, that's going to be really hard to do in a big man's league unless he could get a chip. If he could get a chip and be the star player on a team that wins one, Yeah, I think he'll get his flowers, and I
Did you
think he
just say a
can
big
become,
man's league? The
bro. It
NBA
is,
is no
bro.
longer a big man's league. The NBA is no longer a big man's league.
What?
I
Because
just can't believe I can't
SGA
believe
made it no
PZ.
longer a big man's league.
I just PZ. I just can't believe you just sat here and said, "Man, it's okay for Ant to be ignorant because he can dunk like crazy, man." Like, I'm
Nah,
like,
that's,
I'm baffled by that, bro. I
bro.
really
Why you
am,
putting
man.
words in my mouth? I
That's
I
said
mean, that's what you said without saying it,
that's
pimp.
that's
bro, but
That's what you
that's
said
like
without
back in the
saying it.
day when they had the black dudes show up
yeah,
for the commercial. They
yeah,
like, you can't
bro.
read the lines, but hold this radio and look and
Bro,
just
don't
smile
put
and
words
do
don't
this.
put words in my mouth, bro. I said what I said was that that's what attracts eyeballs. Eyeballs.
I mean,
That's what brings people to the stadium. When you see what that's what leads Sports Center. You see this dunk. Dunks lead Sports Centers. Not look at this awesome mid-range jump shot. Look at this amazing free throw percentage. That doesn't bring eyeballs.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've never seen
I
a
go
free
to
throw
youth
shot
basketball
lead
game and
Sports
all I
Center.
listen. I go to youth basketball games when my grandson was playing. I didn't see kids out there dunking. I saw them pulling up from half court like Curry. Okay, and Curry
Yeah,
wasn't dunking.
bro,
That's
and
the
those youth
jumper.
basketball games are not
That's
on
the
Sports
jumper.
Center.
I'm just saying, man. This the kid. We talking about who the kids are emulating, man. You know what I'm saying? And they all emulating Curry, bro. They all want to shoot from the rafters.
Well,
So
I mean, that's why we love Steph Curry is because he's very easy to emulate because not everybody has size, but everybody can learn how to shoot a jumper.
no
Maybe
doubt,
not as
man.
well as Steph Curry, but he's somebody that you can emulate because you can't emulate Wemby as much as you want to try.
I
There's
just don't
just
want to
no
see
way
these
you can
kids.
emulate that.
I don't want to see these kids emulating Anthony Edwards, man, because the dude is just like he's super ignorant, man. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, I'm okay with his attitude on the court being emulated. The guy brings his lunch pail and he comes to work every day. But no, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Um, I don't know if you want to save a little bit of time, Dave, for your NHL, or if
Nah,
you want
man.
to wrap it here because I know we went long.
Let's wrap it here, bro. We good.
Okay. All right, fellas. Well, I didn't say this at the beginning of the podcast. I usually mention this, but make sure that you click that like and subscribe. Your support definitely helps. Thank you for all the chatter in the chat. Even if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you throw in the chat, show us some love. We always appreciate it. Check us out on Instagram and on Facebook. Share this and get your friends to like and subscribe as well. Zeke, it sounded like you had a little something that you wanted to throw out there before we part.
Yeah, real quick. I just want to give a quick shout out. We had another loss in the Braves family. Bobby Cox,
Yeah, man.
longtime coach. That was a dude that got me through the first I don't know how many years of my fandom. So shout out to Skip. He had a major impact on a lot of lives, and he will definitely be missed. So shout out Bobby Cox. Rest in peace.
For sure. For
For
sure.
sure, man.
RIP, man.
The
All
most
right.
ejected coach in sports history,
My
dog.
man got almost a full season's worth of ejections.
Yes.
That's
Set
crazy.
it off. Bobby
That's
set it
crazy.
off Cox. Let's
That's
go.
that's one thing his players loved about him. He'd go out there. If you thought you were right, he'd defend you. And he'd tell you about yourself when he found out you were wrong, but he was going to defend you
Facts.
on the field.
Yes, he
So
would,
yeah,
man.
shout out to Bobby, man. Players love to play for him.
All right, fellas. Well, great episode. We had a lot of fun as we always do. We'll be back same
Hey Chris,
time,
the Mets
same
won
bat
tonight, man.
channel. Bro, yeah. And we won 2 games in a row. That's an accomplishment, fellas.
Here
Two
comes a
ga-
10-game
can
losing
your
streak.
team win 2 games in a row? I don't think so. Mets, baby, let's go. Let's go.
All right, hit the button, Dave. He's going off
Hit the
the
button. Hit the button. He lost his mind.
All right, everybody.
All
Peace.
right, guys.